Restaurant owners and operators are some of the most fearless people I know, and it's a trait that makes success in this amazing industry possible. But regardless of how thoroughly prepared and streamlined you and your managers are, a visit from a health inspector can still bring feelings of dread. So on today's show, I just want to share some tips for how to handle an impromptu investigation and what to do immediately afterward. An unexpected visit from a health inspector can really catch you off guard. So follow these 5 steps to make it through any visit. Step number 1, check credentials. You don't want to allow anyone into your kitchen or your back office areas unless you have verified their credentials. Generally, the inspector will be able to quickly produce this upon their arrival, and if this doesn't happen, you absolutely can ask them for documentation. This shouldn't be a big deal for any legitimate inspector. Unfortunately, there have been numerous cases of people posing as inspectors and sometimes demanding money in exchange for a clean report. So if the inspector doesn't have any documentation, then a quick call to the local health department may quickly settle things. Step number 2, find out the reason for the visit. Once the credentials have been verified, it's a good idea to find out the reason the inspector has come to your restaurant. Is this a random inspection? Was this a complaint that was filed? Again, the inspector should be able to share this information with you early on. But if you don't get this information from them, you absolutely have the right to ask them. Step number 3, stay calm and be professional. And I know that this is easier said than done, as it's very natural to get nervous or even a bit defensive when it comes to someone critiquing your restaurant and the processes you have in place. But getting defensive or angry is certainly not going to help the inspection go any smoother. But by remaining open and approachable and professional, you can take the advice in stride and even be better prepared for the next inspection. Step number 4, share any updates. If you have made any updates to processes above and beyond existing food safety regulations, share that information with the inspector. This visit is a great time to convey everything that you have done to remain compliant. Step number 5, document. As you do the walkthrough with the inspector, this is a really good time for you to take notes of what he or she is pointing out that needs to be updated or changed. Some of the fixes might be remedied immediately, while others might take a little bit longer to correct. Either way, it's really nice to have your own notes regarding the visit, as well as the beginning of a to-do list. The inspector should also provide you with a copy of the visit report for your records. So following an inspection, things may be looking anywhere from really, really good to really, really bad. Regardless, here are 4 steps to take post-inspection. Okay, step number 1, you're going to prioritize the violations. Between the inspection report and your own notes, you should have a decent idea of the order in which the violations should be addressed. The inspector should have noted which violations were an immediate or crucial health hazard versus emerging or minor ones. Immediate health hazards, of course, these violations should be remedied ASAP, ideally during the actual inspection if possible, or within no more than 24 hours following the inspection. Step number 2, meet with your team. You need to inform everybody on your team of the inspection findings, and as well as train them or retrain them on the proper methods to ensure that you're preventing any future violations. If your teammates are not following the correct procedures despite being trained appropriately, of course, disciplinary action may be warranted. Step number 3, reach out to the inspector. You may forget to ask a question or for clarification during the actual inspection, and if so, don't hesitate to reach back out to the inspector. This will show the inspector that you have taken initiative and your willingness to make necessary improvements and to learn from your mistakes. Plus, inspectors can be a great source of information and are usually happy and eager to share their knowledge with those who are interested. Step number 4, appeal if necessary. If you feel that the inspection findings were not accurate, you do have the right to appeal. Check your inspection report for details, contact your local health department, and get the process started. Health inspections are a necessary and albeit at times frustrating component of the restaurant industry. Inspectors ensure that standards are met and the customers and employees remain safe, which of course is very important. So long as you lead your team toward compliance and follow the tips that I outlined here today, inspections will hopefully become a less stressful encounter going forward.